Welcome back to Uncovering Real Estate, brought to you by the Brampton Real Estate Board. My name is Sarabjit Rana, and I'm your host. And it's great to be with you here, providing you some real information in sort of in layman's terms so that you can understand it, you're feeling better about the whole process. That's our objective here today. And in all of the shows that we're providing. And if you've just joined us, I have with me, I want to make sure I get the title correct, I have Mike Collins, broker and ICI Executive Director from iPro Realty Limited. Really happy to have you here, Mike, because you've been able to shed some really interesting light on an industrial or commercial transaction, which is important because once you've got your house set and you've got some extra money to play with, or at least let's hope you have extra money to play with, you then start thinking about how can I purchase investment properties? I want to recap some of the things we talked about. And you know, give me some insight here in terms of the rest of the stuff we're going into. But you talked about the fact that, you know, you settle on a rate together. You decide to work together, and once you interview somebody, correct? And then you decide a rate that makes sense for both of you.
Are we talking about a fee for
yes,
service, you mean?
A fee for service, yes.
Yeah, in that particular case, what we're doing is it's no different than any other kind of, you know, I would say job application. Yeah. It's just, but what you're doing is you're saying, listen, for the, I charge this fee, and for this fee, I do this, and this.
Okay.
So somebody else may say, well, you know, I can offer less, but I only do this, and this, and then you as an owner of the property, or you as a potential, you know, if you're looking for a potential realtor to do something for you, to market your property, you've got to decide, okay, which package, which service, which person do you feel. Now, some people will have more experience and they may demand, you know, a little, or ask for a little bit more. Some may say, well, I'm going to offer less service, and therefore I'm going to do, you know, I'll offer you a less thing. So it's totally negotiable. It's just you've got to decide what you want. The biggest thing to do is that signing a buyer mandate or a seller's mandate, in there you know, you can actually have the realtor say, okay, here's what I'm going to charge, and this is all the services I'm going to provide for you. So you have an idea of how the two fit together.
And that's really important, to be quite honest with you. I did not know that. And, you know, again, I'm going to go back to the same point. A little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. It's really important to get your facts right and to know that you are being matched up with someone who's going to assist you in delivering all those deliverables that are non-negotiable for you, right? Really important. Let's talk a little bit about some of those terms associated with investment properties. What's a tenant allowance?
Well, if you go and rent a office building, for instance, you know, generally speaking, unlike a house, if you're going to rent a house, all the walls are there, the kitchen's there, everything is in the house. You know, you may or may not talk about carpet if it's not or cleaning carpet. But in a commercial property, you know, it can be in various stages. So, for instance, the offices that were built out for the previous tenant may not be suitable to you at all. The offices may not be there at all. It may have been open space. It may be just open ductwork and what have you.
Got it.
So there may be just a base building. So as an incentive, what the landlord will often do is I'm going to offer an allowance. And that allowance will say could be $25 a square foot in a particular building. So if you lease a property from me for 5 years, I'm prepared as a landlord to put in $25 a square foot towards the build out of the office that you're looking for. So you want some offices, you want some open space, you want a lunch area.
I want a sink.
I want a sink. All those things can be put into that. Now, what happens is once you use up the $25, you have to pay the difference. So if you want solid mahogany doors, you're going to use that up pretty quick.
That's what the lawyer's office would do.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. So okay, so this is playable money that I've got here to do with what I see fit.
It's an allowance, yes. It's an allowance towards some of the improvements that are there, yes.
As an incentive.
As an incentive for a 5-year or a 10-year lease or something like that.
And that's important because that's like it seems to me that that's like a plus because, you know, 8 out of 10 things make real sense in that property. But those 2 things, I just want to, you know, like, can I get them?
Well, that's right. And most of the time, the landlords, when they build out an office, they're only building it out for you, your tenant. See, so they know that it'll probably have to be ripped out. So whatever they're building it out for you.
Okay. All right. So the term NOI. What does that
So now,
signify?
so that is on the investment side of things. So
Okay.
what that does is if you have a property that you're looking at, that is the net operating income that is offered, that is being presented or is being generated by the property. So after I've taken all my rents or the rent or whatever, all the income that I've totaled up, and I've taken out all of the expenses for my accounting, for my insurance, for my repairs, for all of those things that are in there. I take all of that out. I'm left with a net operating income. So before mortgage payments or any taxes, this is how much money I make.
Oh, okay. Okay. And so that is something that is
Well, the NOI is what basically drives your value, because if you've got a building that's really, really high in maintenance, then obviously that'll lower the NOI, which means the property makes less money. So that is where you actually derive your cap rate from, because you take your NOI and you divide the NOI, which is your income, divided by your purchase price, and that will tell you what kind of return on your investment you're getting. So
see, that's why you're an expert in this field and I'm not, because that's something that I would have to wrap my head around. And that then, therein lies the sense of expertise and value. And part and parcel, and I'm going to say it again, the reason why this show is here is to be able to provide our viewers with an element to understand maybe concepts that they didn't quite know before.
Absolutely.
Right? Knowledge and valuable information by the Brampton Real Estate Board, which is really, really important. Let's talk about what effect zoning has on a property.
Well, zoning, we talked about that a little bit before, but zoning can be really
Big
huge.
deal.
I mean, obviously, I mean, in industrial properties, I mean, it's an industrial property is an industrial property. Well, not necessarily. I mean, some industrial properties you're allowed to store stuff outside. Others you're not allowed to store stuff outside. Some zoning property for some properties for industrial properties use is a huge thing in zoning of properties. So I may be able to use it for a warehouse, but I can't use it for a auto body shop or something like that. So zoning is two things. One is the actual use that you can put in the building, but also the size of the building. I mean, zoning affects everything on that.
So another comparable example quickly would be like a restaurant versus not having a drive-through.
Correct. Some restaurants are entitled to have a drive-through. Some are not. Some are. I mean, it's all predicated, a lot of it, on parking and traffic flow and everything else. So it's more than just zoning in that case. It could be traffic flow. It could be a bunch of things.
Want to thank you so much for coming in and shedding some light on a very important topic. Thanks for coming in, and I wish you the best. Thanks again for tuning in with us, and we'll be back with you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.